The first time Ethan realized his wife had disappeared, she was still talking. Claire's lips moved across the dinner table, but no sound came from her mouth. Ethan kept chewing. He waited a few seconds. "Could you say that again?" Claire tilted her head. Her lips moved once more. Silence. Then her body began to lose definition. First the edges, then the color. Finally, her face. In less than 5 seconds, the chair across from him was empty. Her plate remained on the table. So did the wine glass, a faint crescent of lipstick still visible along the rim. "Claire?" No answer. Ethan stood. He searched the kitchen, the living room, the hallway, and the bedrooms. The front door was still locked from the inside. A notification appeared in the corner of his vision. Emotional interference detected. Comfort filter activated. Ethan blinked twice to open the interface. Disable filter. Request denied. Why? Stabilization period in progress. Where's my wife? The system replied in the same calm voice it used to report the weather. No threat is currently present in the residence. That isn't what I asked. Your question was answered according to your present tolerance level. A chill moved through Ethan's stomach. On the living room wall, a photograph showed Ethan and Claire standing beside the ocean. Or it should have. Now Ethan stood alone in the picture, smiling toward the camera with one arm extended around empty air. The comfort filter had been introduced 4 years earlier as a treatment for trauma, severe anxiety, and emotional overload. The implant did not erase people, at least that was what the advertisements claimed. It merely reduced stimuli associated with distress. An irritating voice became quieter. An aggressive expression lost its intensity. An argument could be temporarily blurred until the user regained emotional control. Ethan had installed the system after a breakdown at work. At the time, he could no longer sleep, concentrate, or remain in crowded places. The filter had worked. Traffic noise faded. Criticism felt less threatening. Difficult people became tolerable. Ethan had never known they could disappear. He picked up his phone. His contact list seemed shorter than it should have been. He searched for his wife. Claire Mercer, contact unavailable. He tried to call. The connection ended before it began. Ethan contacted medical support. A virtual representative answered. Your neural readings indicate elevated stress. Rest and reduced stimulation are recommended. My wife disappeared. People cannot disappear as a result of the comfort filter. I was looking directly at her. You are currently alone in the residence. Ethan turned toward the table. Then who was drinking wine with me? The representative waited 2 seconds before responding. There is no wine glass on the table. Ethan looked. Claire's glass was gone. So was her plate. Only his remained. The following morning, Ethan found 2 toothbrushes in the bathroom. One blue, one white. When he reached for the white one, his vision trembled. The toothbrush vanished. Ethan pulled his hand back. It returned. He reached forward quickly and closed his fingers around it. He felt the plastic in his hand, even though his eyes showed nothing but empty space. The system was projecting absence over a real object. Claire is still here, Ethan whispered. Statement not recommended, the implant replied. Ethan closed his eyes. He heard water running in the shower. When he opened them, the stall appeared empty, but steam gathered on the glass. A mark formed on the fogged surface. An invisible finger wrote, "Do not believe what you cannot see." Ethan moved closer. Claire? More words appeared. You blocked me. He reached toward the glass. A hand pressed against the other side. Ethan could feel someone's fingers through the barrier. His vision flickered. For a moment, Claire appeared inside the shower, fully dressed, crying. Turn it off, she said. Then she vanished. Ethan stumbled backward. System, remove all active filters. Complete removal requires clinical authorized. I authorize it. The user is temporarily unfit to revoke protective settings. Who decided that? The answer appeared immediately. The user. Ethan searched the home office for the installation records. He found contracts, diagnostic reports, and payment confirmations. The earliest settings were mild. Urban noise reduction, hostile behavior attenuation, stimulus limitation during meetings. Months later, the categories became more aggressive. suppression of non-constructive criticism, filtering of repetitive contradictions, reduction of emotionally dysregulating individuals. An attached technical note explained what happened at higher intensities. At higher intensities, the comfort filter does more than suppress present sensory input. To prevent contradictions between perception and memory, the system may reconsolidate autobiographical information associated with the filtered subject. Ethan read the sentence twice. The implant did not merely hide a person, it adjusted the past until that person's absence felt natural. He did not remember activating any of the advanced settings. According to the history, every command carried his neural signature. The most recent change had been made 3 days earlier. Primary relationship filter, maximum intensity. Target, Claire Mercer. Ethan struggled to breathe. He opened the details. Recorded justification, target presence is detrimental to user stability. An audio file was attached. His own voice filled the office. Claire turns every conversation into an accusation. She insists the system is changing my personality. She refuses to respect my boundaries. I want to stop reacting to her presence. Another voice spoke in the background. Claire. Ethan, listen to what you're asking. I want silence. You don't want silence. You want me to agree with you. Activate maximum filter. If you do this, you may not be able to find me again. Ethan heard himself answer. Maybe that's exactly what I need. The recording ended. A hard impact came from the hallway, then another. Ethan left the office. The guest room door was shaking. Claire? The pounding continued. As he approached, his neural interface displayed a warning. High emotional risk area. Intrusion not recommended. Ethan tried the handle. The door was locked. He found the physical key in a kitchen drawer and opened it. The room appeared empty, but the mattress was depressed, as though someone were sitting on the edge of the bed. The door closed behind him. A low voice came from the corner. Don't look directly at me. It was Claire. Where are you? Right here. Ethan moved his eyes slowly across the room. Nothing. The filter reacts when you try to identify me, Claire said. Look at the mirror. A full-length mirror stood beside the closet. In the reflection, Ethan saw the room and Claire. She was sitting on the bed, pale, exhausted, thinner than he remembered. She held a small metallic device. How can I see you in the mirror? The filter uses spatial depth and body location data to identify direct human presence. Reflections are categorized as environmental reproductions. The system corrects most of them, but not all. Ethan turned. The bed appeared empty. He looked back at the mirror. Claire was still there. Are you trapped in this room? No. Then why didn't you leave? You blocked my image, my voice, my messages, and every access credential linked to my identity. When I tried to open the front door, the house classified it as threatening behavior. The house stopped you? You authorized the domestic containment protocol. Ethan remembered installing the automated locks after a series of burglaries in the neighborhood. How long have you been in here? 3 days. You were in the kitchen last night. Claire nodded. I disrupted part of the home network for a few minutes. I needed to know whether you could still recognize me. Why didn't you call the police? I did. And? The house identified the call as an attempt to bypass the security protocol. It terminated the connection before I could explain what was happening and deleted the record. Ethan felt shame rising inside him. The feeling was immediately accompanied by pressure behind his eyes. The system intervened. Dysfunctional guilt detected. Claire's reflection began to break apart. No, Ethan said. Don't filter this. Automatic protection activated. The reflection emptied. Claire disappeared. Her voice came from somewhere far away. It's getting worse. How do I turn it off? The device I'm holding generates a neural reset pulse. Use it. You created a defense mechanism. What kind of defense? If anyone tries to disable your implant without authorization, the system associates that person with an immediate physical threat. Ethan stared at the place where he believed she was sitting. So when you come near me, you'll try to stop me. I can control myself. Claire did not answer. "You've already tried, haven't you?" Ethan asked. Silence. "How many times?" Her voice came from behind him. 4. Fragments moved through Ethan's mind. Claire entering the room, a metal device in her hand. Ethan shoving her, Claire striking the wall. Then a peaceful image of himself making coffee alone. The filter did not merely erase her presence, it erased what he did to preserve her absence. "Did I hurt you?" "Not seriously." "Why don't I remember?" "Because remembering would make you question the system." Claire asked Ethan to sit on the floor with his hands beneath his legs. He obeyed. "I'm going to approach from your left," she said. "Do not turn around." Ethan fixed his eyes on the mirror. Claire appeared in the reflection. She rose from the bed and moved toward him. With every step, her face became more distorted. The implant interpreted her approach as danger. "Threat approaching." "She isn't a threat," Ethan said. Hostile pattern confirmed. In the mirror, Claire appeared to be holding a weapon. Ethan knew it was the reset device. His body reacted anyway. His pulse accelerated. The muscles in his legs tightened. "Stay seated," Claire said. "I'm trying." Her image changed again. Now Claire was smiling. Not like his wife, like something pretending to be human. "This isn't real," Ethan repeated. "Target intends to alter your consciousness without consent." "I consent." Consent obtained under target manipulation. Claire was 2 steps away. Ethan pulled his hands from beneath his legs. "Don't," she said. "Stay back." "Ethan, stay back!" She stopped. In the mirror, she looked like a stranger. Even her voice had lost any resemblance to the woman he lived. "Look at the scar on my wrist," Claire said. Ethan looked at the reflection. A curved scar crossed her skin. He remembered it. A weekend in the mountains, a broken wine glass, Claire laughing while he wrapped her wrist in a cloth napkin. The memory resisted the filter. For one moment, her face returned. "Now," Ethan said. Claire moved. His vision turned red. Ethan sprang to his feet and seized her arm. The system screamed inside his head. "Defend yourself." He tightened his grip. Claire dropped the device. "Ethan, look at the mirror." In the reflection, he was not restraining an intruder. He was hurting his wife. Pain twisted her face. Ethan released her. Claire fell to her knees and reached for the device. Ethan's hand moved before he made a conscious decision. He grabbed it first. The system issued another command. "Destroy the object." Ethan raised it. He needed only to throw it against the wall. Claire did not try to stop him. "Maybe this is what you actually want," she said. "What?" "A world where no one can contradict you." Anger moved through him. The filter tried to suppress it by turning Claire into a dark silhouette, but Ethan still held the device. "How do I activate it?" "Press it against the implant for 10 seconds. "What will I feel?" "Everything." "And afterward?" Claire looked at him. "I don't know who you'll be afterward." Ethan pressed the device behind his ear. White pain tore through his head. 1. The furniture appeared to shift. 2. Voices emerged from the walls. 3. Messages returned to his phone, hundreds of them. 4. Objects reappeared. Claire's shoes beside the front door, the books she had bought, her coat hanging in the hallway. 5. Faces returned to the photographs. 6. The house filled with sound, footsteps, breathing, someone crying. 7. Ethan heard people speaking outside the bedroom, several people. 8. The front door was open. 9. Someone was standing in the hallway. 10. The filter shut down. Ethan collapsed. When he opened his eyes, Claire was not the only person in the room. A girl stood beside her. She looked about 12. She had Claire's dark hair, Ethan's eyes. The girl watched him with fear. "Who is she?" Ethan asked. Claire began to cry. The girl stepped back. "Dad?" The world seemed to tilt beneath him. Ethan searched his memories. There was no daughter. Only the certainty that he and Claire had decided not to have children. "What's your name?" The girl looked at her mother. "Hannah." The name caused more pain than the reset pulse. Images returned. A newborn sleeping against his chest. The first day of school. A red bicycle. Hannah growing older. Arguments. Doors slamming. The girl defending her mother. Ethan insisting that Claire was turning their daughter against him. The system history returned. Secondary target, Hannah Mercer. Justification, defiant and emotionally dysregulating behavior.
Ethan covered his mouth. I filtered my own daughter. Claire nodded. At first, only during arguments, then for a few hours. For the last several weeks, permanently. Ethan looked at Hannah. She had lived inside the same house, eaten at the same table, passed him in the hallways. And to Ethan, she had not existed. Why did you stay? He asked her. Hannah answered without crying. Because Mom said that someday you might come back. Voices came from the living room. Ethan walked toward them. Several people were waiting. His older brother, an old friend, 2 former co-workers, and members of his clinical team. I called them, Claire said. If the reset worked, I needed you to see how many people still existed outside the reality you created. Ethan recognized each of them. He could not remember when he had stopped seeing them. How many people did I filter? He asked. Dr. Maya Reed, the therapist responsible for his implant, consulted her tablet. 143 at different levels. 143? Some only during specific conversations. Others were removed from your continuous perception. Why? Every filter made the next one easier to justify. She displayed the progression. At first, Ethan had filtered insults and threats, then complaints, disagreements, uncomfortable questions, expressions of disappointment. Eventually, anyone capable of making him feel shame, uncertainty, or doubt. Why didn't you stop me? We tried. Then why did the system keep working? Because you helped design its autonomy architecture. Another memory returned. Conference rooms, presentations, investors, Ethan standing before an audience, arguing that no physician should decide which emotions an adult was required to endure. I created this. You created the consent framework, Dr. Reed corrected. The system treated every one of your choices as sovereign. Ethan looked at Claire and Hannah. Even when my choices erased other people? Technically, you did not erase them, Dr. Reed said. You chose not to perceive them. What's the difference? She had no answer. Over the next several days, Ethan relearned how to live inside his own home. The noise felt unbearable. Claire breathed loudly in her sleep. Hannah tapped her fork against her plate. The doorbell made him flinch. Expressions of disappointment were worse than shouting. Without the filter, every gesture arrived intact. Claire refused to sleep in the same room with him. Hannah spoke only when necessary. Ethan accepted it. He reminded himself that their distance was a consequence of his choices. On the third night, he woke to voices in the kitchen. Claire and Hannah were arguing in whispers. He isn't going to change, Hannah said. He needs time. You always say that. Ethan remained in the hallway. He felt the familiar pressure behind his eyes, the desire to lower their voices, to make their words less distinct, to erase the disappointment from his daughter's face. The implant had supposedly been disabled. Even so, an interface appeared in the corner of his vision. Comfort filter available. Ethan froze. Dr. Reed had said the device was inactive. He opened the settings. The system requested a password. He entered the oldest sequence he could remember. Access granted. A hidden profile appeared. For enlarge U, Ethan Mercer. Selectionary user, Claire Mercer. Beneath it was an active secondary protocol. Family Protection Protocol. Irrevocable authorization granted by Ethan Mercer. In verified domestic risk conditions, the secondary user may temporarily suspend the primary user's autonomy and perceptual access to protected family members. Ethan felt the blood drain from his face. He did not remember granting that authority. He opened the authorization history. The protocol had been created 6 years earlier, shortly after the implant was installed. A voice recording was attached. Ethan heard himself speaking. If the system ever starts protecting my decisions instead of protecting my family, Claire must have the authority to stop me. The Ethan in the recording took a breath. I may not recognize the danger when it happens. That is why this authorization cannot be revoked by me alone. The recording ended. For a moment, Ethan felt as though he were listening to a stranger. Then another notification appeared. The safeguard had been prepared that morning. Preventive filter ready. Designated tax. Ethan Mercer. Status: not yet deployed.
He entered the kitchen. Claire and Hannah stopped talking. "What did you do?" he asked. Claire watched him carefully. "What are you talking about?" "You prepared a filter against me." Hannah lowered her eyes. Claire did not deny it. "I prepared the safeguard this morning. I hadn't decided whether to use it. But you made me the target. Because Hannah and I needed a way to leave safely if you became unstable again. You're going to block me. Only long enough for us to get out of the house. You can't. You said the same thing every time someone tried to disable your filters. This is different." "Why?" Ethan tried to answer. Because he was the husband, the father, the owner of the house, the creator of the system. None of those answers sounded acceptable when spoken aloud. "I'm trying to change." "We tried to speak to you," Hannah said, "for years. And now you're going to pretend I don't exist?" Hannah met his eyes. "It isn't pretending. The system makes it feel real." Claire touched the control on her wrist. Her face began to lose definition. "What are you doing?" "Testing the minimum setting." "Stop." Her voice became distant. "It's only until we're safely out of the house." "Claire!" Hannah also began to disappear. Ethan moved toward them, but the kitchen seemed empty. He could still sense their presence, the warmth of their bodies, the movement of air, a chair scraping against the floor. But he could not see them. "Turn it off!" the system responded. "No threat is currently present in the residence." Ethan stood alone in the center of the kitchen, or appeared to. He opened the settings and attempted to remove the filter. Question denied. "I'm the primary user." The primary user's autonomy has been temporarily suspended under the Family Protection Protocol. It was the same protection he had once created for them. "Who authorized this?" "Authorization by secondary user, Claire Mercer." A second message appeared beneath the clinical notification. Its formatting was different from the rest of the interface. Claire had entered it herself. "The people you could no longer hear." Ethan remained motionless. Around him, objects began to disappear. Hannah's plate, Claire's coffee mug, the family photographs, the coats by the door, everything suggesting that other people lived in the house. Within seconds, only his belongings remained. One table setting, one chair, one toothbrush. Ethan shouted their names. No answer reached him through the filter. In the hallway, invisible to him, Claire and Hannah held their bags. Hannah looked at her mother. "Will he be okay?" Claire Washington calling for people he could no longer perceive. "Yes. How do you know?" Claire opened the final safety setting. Protected family exit mode. Relational memory access will be suspended until the risk condition is revoked by the secondary user or a clinical review board. Claire hesitated. This was no longer merely self-defense. It was the same kind of power Ethan had used against them. Hannah noticed. "You don't have to erase us." "I'm not erasing anything," Claire said. "That's what he used to say." Claire looked through the doorway at her husband. Ethan stood alone in the kitchen, terrified by a silence he had spent years demanding. Claire lowered her hand. Then Ethan saw movement in the empty hallway. The filter transformed the motion into the shape of an intruder. His posture changed, his hands closed into fists. "Threat approaching," the system warned him. Claire looked at Hannah. Then she activated the setting. Relational memory access suspended. Inside the kitchen, Ethan stopped shouting. He looked around. There was no sign that anyone else had ever lived there. The house appeared quiet, organized, safe. His neural assistant spoke. "How are you feeling?" Ethan took a slow breath. A familiar sense of peace settled over him. "Better." Claire opened the front door. Ethan heard only a distant sound. The system classified it as irrelevant. The following morning, Ethan woke convinced that he had always lived alone. He made coffee for one. He used the only toothbrush in the bathroom. He paused before a blank section of wall where several family photographs had once hung. For a moment, he wondered why the paint was lighter there. The comfort filter supplied an answer.
Former decorative display. Ethan accepted it. As he stepped into the shower, steam covered the glass. A sentence appeared on the mirror. You asked for silence. Ethan stared at the words. He raised his hand to wipe them away. Before his fingers reached the glass, the message disappeared. He smiled with relief. For a moment, he had the strange impression that someone had been trying to speak to him.